Tonight on the Night Team. Rain and snow on the way to Kentuckiana, and coming with it, dropping freezing temperatures. How much snow we could see heading into the week. Plus, while the future of the Baxter Avenue theaters is still unknown, a local effort has collected thousands of signatures to save the Highlands Theater.
It's a fundamental part of who we are, and losing it would just be like a terrible loss.
And later, the two LMPD officers involved in a fatal shooting earlier this week have been identified. What we know about their time on the department. Right now on the WHAS11 Night Team. Well, it is a warmer December night here in Louisville as we bring you this view of our Metro Cam. You can see some buildings in the festive spirit after Light Up Louisville kicked off the holidays yesterday downtown. Hello, Austin. We are expecting some small amounts of precipitation tonight. So, Austin, what can we expect?
Yes, so we're tracking that rain, that transition into snowfall as we head through the overnight hours. We're not seeing any of that right now, though. Things are still relatively dry out there, and we are going to see that overnight, like I said, and then slick spots will be possible tomorrow morning. You just need to be ready for that for your Monday morning commute, and give yourself plenty of time to do so. We'll discuss it more in my full forecast. Here's our 4-box Trimark traffic camera. There's not a whole lot going on right now, and again, a real nice shot at the Louisville Metro from our Hughes and Coleman camera, part of our Charlotte Children's Hospital camera network. We're up near 40 right now. It is a bit warmer than it ought to be at this time of day, and in fact, Campbellsville sitting at 42 degrees, along with Munfordville, 40 degrees in Hodgenville, 39 in Shepherdsville, as well as Louisville. In southern Indiana, it is a little cooler, and that is going to be a trend in this forecast. Now, it's cloudy, and it's not going to stop being cloudy for a good while from now, pretty much all through tomorrow, too. Here's the hourly planner, and I know you're not getting out and doing anything overnight, but you can see when that potential for snowfall moves in as we head into early tomorrow morning. I'm going to time out everything with Futurecast and an update on what we expect for accumulations. It's not much in my full forecast.
All right, thank you, Austin. As the sale of Mid-City Mall still pens, concerns stand for the future of Baxter Avenue theaters in the Highlands. Social media posts from a few weeks ago claimed the theater is shutting down, while its owner, Apex Entertainment, says the building is still open and, quote, evaluating the future. WHAS 11 Night Team's Clarice Shaley spoke with a local filmmaker who is taking his concerns and started a petition to save the theater.
I feel like it's the heart.
To Emmett Swan,
It's the heart of Louisville indie filmmaking.
Baxter Avenue Theaters and Mid-City Mall is more than just a neighborhood theater. The future of the theater that opened in the 90s is unclear.
It has a character to it that other cinemas don't have. It has a feeling when you walk in that this is Louisville cinema.
The theater not only shows popular movies, but they'll show pieces made by local filmmakers.
It gives them a bit of a spotlight and an ability to show their film in a theater setting at a rate that's affordable to a lot of people. Otherwise, I feel like we wouldn't see small films. We would not get a glimpse into what other people are creating in Louisville.
Mid-City Mall has been up for sale for a little over a year now, and that looming sale leaves the future of Baxter Avenue theaters uncertain.
Losing it would just be like a terrible loss.
Around Thanksgiving, the founder of Louisville Indie Films and filmmaker himself was about to fulfill a longtime dream.
I was going to show a film here, and I reached out to them about booking in January, and they got back to me and said they don't have any availability for 2026. That kind of put a red flag up.
That's when Swan created this petition to save the theater on change.org.
I didn't really think anything of it, that it would pick up or anything. Next thing I know, more and more people reposted it and shared it on their story.
At the time of this screenshot, there were over 4,600 signatures.
I think it shows that they care. I think it shows that this place is special. I'd like to think it'll open a conversation with the power players at hand.
Owner of the theater, Apex Entertainment, says they know about the petition. A representative says they would like to thank the theater's patrons and the greater Louisville community for their support. At Baxter Avenue Theaters, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
And right now, that petition has over 4,700 signatures. Apex Entertainment told us there are no additional updates they can give us past the information they provided a few weeks ago amid the social media posts claiming they were shutting down. You can find that on our website, WHAS11.com. A firefighter was injured while fighting a structure fire in the Portland neighborhood last night. Louisville Fire says around 11:30 Saturday, firefighters responded to North 19th Street. They found a fire on the second floor of a vacant residential building. One firefighter sustained a non-life-threatening injury from a fall. He was taken to a local hospital. No other injuries were reported. Louisville Fire says it took 25 firefighters to put out the fire. And residents of a Clarksville home were evacuated this morning after their house caught fire. The Clarksville Fire Department says around 4:45 this morning, firefighters responded to the fire in the 400 block of Evergreen Drive. They say the call came from Clarksville police officers who'd been driving by the home at the time the fire broke out. The officers helped everyone inside the home get out safely. The fire department says the location of the fire made it difficult to put out, and part of Evergreen Drive is temporarily blocked by a water supply line. Clarksville Fire is asking locals to avoid that area as crews continue to investigate. Today, LMPD released the names of the 2 officers involved in the shooting that left 1 man dead this week. On Thursday, a person called 911 after seeing a man point a gun at a woman near Red Deer Circle in Hurstbourne. The 2 officers who fatally shot the suspect have been identified as Officer Michael Crow and Officer Austin Taylor. Officer Crow was sworn in 2017 and has had a few violations before. One was use of deadly force in a previous officer-involved shooting, but was exonerated for the violation. According to LMPD documents, he was also reprimanded for driving at a high speed in his police car without lights and sirens and failed to stop at a stop sign in 2021 and was reprimanded in the same year for failing to secure his body camera before a car chase. Officer Crow has also been complimented for his swift action in rendering first aid to suspects and saving a 3-year-old after a dangerous car wreck. Officer Taylor was sworn in 2020 and only has a court attendance violation on his record. Officer Taylor has been commended for saving people from a house fire as well as saving a mother and child from a domestic violence situation. Well, today local firefighters came together at the Oxmoor Center for a calendar signing to support the WHAS Crusade for Children. Firefighters signed copies of the WHAS Crusade for Children 2026 Firefighter Calendar. This year's edition features the Louisville Fire Department, Fern Creek Fire, J-Town Fire and EMS, and several other Kentuckiana emergency response teams. 100% of the proceeds from today's signing will go towards the Crusade for Children. 300 Indiana National Guard soldiers arrived in Washington yesterday as part of the D.C. Safe and Beautiful mission. Master Sergeant Jeff Lowry says Indiana Guardsmen will help local and federal law enforcement partners with community safety patrols, manage traffic control posts, and work to minimize property damage while keeping the peace. The soldiers have been training at Camp Atterbury in Edinburgh since mid-November, focusing on crowd management and de-escalation.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You just heard from Franklin D. Roosevelt from footage from the U.S. Archives filmed in 1941. 84 years ago, 2,400 service members and civilians lost their lives in the Pearl Harbor attack. And today, on Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, we're taking a moment to remember those lives. A U.S. naval base off the coast of Oahu, Hawaii, endured a 2-hour surprise air raid by Japanese forces on December 7th. The same attack shook America's confidence and pulled the country into World War II. Congress designated December 7th as National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day back in 1994, and today marks 84 years since that brutal attack. And on Friday, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear ordered all American flags to be half-staff in remembrance of the Pearl Harbor attack. Beshear encourages homes, businesses, organizations, and government agencies to join the tribute. A secondary U.S. strike on a Venezuelan boat in September is now under intense scrutiny. Many lawmakers on Capitol Hill are questioning whether the strike may have been a war crime. Jen Sullivan breaks down what happened and the controversy surrounding these actions.
This video, released by the Department of Defense, captures the moment the U.S. first strikes a Venezuelan boat that the U.S. government says was carrying illegal drugs. The White House now saying that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth authorized U.S. Navy Admiral Frank Bradley to act. While speaking at an event in California Saturday, Secretary Hegseth defended the Trump administration's actions.
If you're working for a designated terrorist organization and you bring drugs to this country in a boat, we will find you and we will sink you.
Since September, the U.S. military has destroyed 23 boats, killing at least 87 people. All say were tied to drug trafficking. Some strikes, particularly a second on this same boat, are drawing criticism.
You don't need that kind of firepower to do that tactical.
In the September 2nd attack, 11 people were reportedly on the boat. After a first strike, 2 survivors were seen clinging to the wreckage, according to some who have seen video of the full attack. Then, more strikes, killing them and sinking the vessel. It is considered a war crime to kill shipwrecked people. Now, many are scrutinizing what happened and are calling for an investigation.
These are, in my opinion, criminal actions or should be investigated as such.
Sources familiar with Bradley's remarks say he told lawmakers the small boat that was hit was heading towards a larger vessel that was bound for Suriname, a small South American country east of Venezuela, known by U.S. drug enforcement officials as a route for drugs headed to Europe. Bradley reportedly telling lawmakers the 2 survivors did not appear to have a radio. They watched the men struggle to overturn what was left of the boat, and there was no position to make a distress call.
There are still big questions about whether this is a legitimate approach, simply going after all manner of drug facilities.
Both the House and Senate Armed Services Committees have launched inquiries into what happened. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.